Hi, I'm Becca. Welcome to Beck and Bugs. And today I'm going to be doing another honest book talk review. Now, I would say that this book is a lot more controversial than the last one I did. Also, be sure to check that out. I read the people. No, what? Better than the movies, and it was great. I liked it. I would say it was a fun review. Now, this one, I didn't film me reading it. I didn't make a pros and cons list because I want to do it a little more structured. So, first of all, I'm going to be doing story and then writing. Or no. Okay, so writing, story, and then characters. But I feel like first of all I should mention the book that I'm reviewing today, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, it was certainly a book. No offense to anyone who liked it. I'm going to go on about why I didn't personally. And what I think the hype is about. So, firstly, with the writing, it's either because I read it like really fast. I read it slower than I read Better Than the Movies. I read it in like 2 days, maybe 3. But it didn't really feel like so in depth. And maybe okay, so it's like spoilers. Fair did seem very in depth. Like I didn't necessarily like. I don't know if you can hear that. Whatever. I didn't necessarily. What is this? Okay, I hope you can't hear that. I didn't necessarily hate her character. I actually thought it was really like well written and developed. But I will say, I disliked how it tricked me in the beginning because I genuinely thought I was getting like a Katniss Everdeen remake, I guess. But no, that was kind of annoying. So I feel like this disappointment is clear on my face. Now, referring to the other characters, like Tamlin and Lucian and Rysand, I would say, the idea of them was great, but I did not think that it developed further than like the idea of them. I don't know. It felt like their personalities were really switchy, and then near the end of the book, I feel like I'm talking more about the characters right now, but I swear I'm talking about the writing. Near the end of the book, none of them really had that much dialogue. It was like between Fair and Amarantha. And I actually regretted that. I really wanted more. I guess Rysand had dialogue, but it didn't give what it needed to give, I suppose. So yeah. And then I do feel like the story was just a wee bit off because it went from her hunting in the woods and being like, yeah, I'm providing for my family and I'm a badass as well, to going into to be like, oh yeah, I love painting and I actually have a sweet side, which I thought that was cool. And then it went to this guy is like hunting me, so I'm just gonna go with him because yeah. Okay, let's fall in love with a fairy. Fairies don't lie? What do you mean fairies don't lie? Like, no, sorry. Fairies lie? I feel like that's like a written book and I'm very much comparing it to the Cruel Prince right now. It's a written rule that fairies cannot lie. I'm sorry, I'm so mad she switched that up. I would say no hate to Sarah J Maas, but I did hear that she's quite controversial. So I'm just not gonna comment. Anyways, yeah, she fell in love like with their world, and it actually annoyed me so much that she was so just, oh yeah, you know what, I like this place. I'm never going back. Even though I was a badass and I need to provide and keep my family and I miss my family, and one of my dreams was to live with my father in a cottage. Yeah, no, I'm never going back. Because I love him. Okay, great. So out of a scale of 5, I feel like the writing was close to a 3. Because I actually did feel really switchy. I didn't mention, like, after she fell in love. She went back, she came back, talked to, what was her name? Alice. Alice. I can't tell if Alice likes her or not. Goes to the mountain, goes to the mountain. The trials really did feel, like, weird as fuck. Like, what were their trials about? Really? Anyways, goes to the mountain, comes back from the mountain. I didn't understand what the whole under the mountain deal was. Like, was she, like, in the center of Prithian, or was she just under the mountain, or was she, like, what was the deal with that? I feel like they made, like, the center of Prithian and the under the mountain feel so tied and, like, so important at first. It was kind of a disappointment when, like, under the mountain was just a place. It didn't really mean anything. It was, like, just Amaranth's little place. Like, it didn't have anything special. And also, I kind of imagined Under the Mountain to be like the Nether in Minecraft. Anyways, so overall, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I would give a writing a 2.5. So, moving on. Did I say the characters first or the story? Anyways, I'm gonna talk about the story. Yeah, the story felt really twitchy. Like, it constantly was just changing. I didn't understand what was going on. I feel like I still don't now that I'm thinking about it. I can't understand if, like, she got all these warnings before going to, I also, what was going on with the Children of the Light, or, like, whatever their names are. Like, I feel like that would have, they were introduced as a much bigger antagonist. They came out to be like, we barely heard about them in here. Anyways, I don't know what was going on with them. And then I don't understand if Prithian was a bad place or a good place. But also if Prithian, like, I don't understand the difference between Prithian and the human world, and that in Prithian fairies exist and they, like, make it more magical, I guess. Cause she got all these warnings about going to Prithian, cause, like, oh, don't trust your senses, blah, blah, blah. What's the difference between Prithian and the human world? Like, I guess it will, I don't know if I'm being stupid, I guess it will change over the course of 500 years or whatever. But aren't they still, like, part of the same land? Don't the roots connect? I don't get it. And I don't understand where humans came from, because in the book, Cauldron made fairies and then humans just appeared. What was that about? Anyways, the relationship between characters, because, like, Tamlin and Fair, they went on to be lovers. Apparently, I also didn't understand, going back to the story, I just came from it. Anyway, going back to the story, I don't understand how, like, not that I don't understand how, but it was, like, very confusing, because Tamlin lied, apparently, but then kind of told the truth, but then he also lied, and then the truth was like, okay, well, that's the truth now. Guess I gotta go save the world or something. No, it actually really annoyed me. Moving on. Oh, wait, did I say, I'm actually so yeah, the story gets a 3 or 3.5 for me, because genuinely, I don't understand, man. Like, for a fantasy book, none of the rules were really explained. None of the, like, hierarchy, matriarchy, whatever. I don't understand the terms of those, but I know one of them has to be right like it has to be what I'm thinking of. I don't understand the major character world. I don't understand how Amarantha's powers work. It's like just a lot of things that for a fantasy book I feel like they should be explained, and they just were not explained at all. Anyways, moving on to the characters. Fair. I hated how she was a badass at first, and then she just became a big softie, and then she didn't care about like her family or hunting or whatever. And like apparently it didn't scar her soul, and then just kill. Also, another thing I don't understand. Um, big spoiler warning. Skip ahead. Um, so the entire point of Fair saving the world was because she loved not Raisin. She loved Tamlin. So only like a human who loves a fairy, like truly loves just one fairy, um, who had like hate in their heart, can go through with the trials and whatnot. Cause that was the curse, I suppose. Um, and then when they caught Fair kissing Rysand, then it just like cancel out the entire point of everything. Like, doesn't that mean that she doesn't love Tamlin? How did they let her go on with the trials? I feel like that's so stupid. Anyways, Tamlin. God. Whew. The way, in theory, like when you think about it, like, oh, Tamlin's a healing guy. He has people, his tragic backstory. He has holy knocks and powers. That's all his. Actually, I understand the death of his character. I understand how it was portrayed. I was like, it was like crazy how, Tamlin was boring. Like, okay, we all feel like he knows. That's it. Another thing, I feel like all I've been hearing about this book is that it has smut. What are you guys talking about? This has like 3 undetailed words being smut scenes, and that's it. I don't understand. Have none of y'all read Draco Malfoy fan fiction at the ripe age of 12? How is okay? Moving forward, Lucian. I really like Lucian, but like I like his characters. I like his like sarcastic personality. I do feel like he could have been a bit more sarcastic for being portrayed as a fox though, and like a bit funnier. Also, I did think that he was like supposed to be like Locke from, I don't know which came first. This is like the chicken and the egg type of situation. He reminded me of Locke from the Crow Prince, like the Folk of the Air series. Anyways, I feel like he could have been a bit funnier. But in contrast to the other characters, okay, maybe like his relationship to Tamlin made sense, and then also their interactions weren't like, because both of them, they were so vague. They're so vague. But then with Fair, I didn't understand if they had like a brotherly. I guess it was more brotherly, but like, did they have like some crazy bond, or were they just friends, or were they like what? What is this? What is this? What? And don't blame me for being like for comparing everything to Fair, because Fair is the main character. Like everything is supposed to be compared to Fair. Oh my gosh. Another thing, why did Fair? Oh my gosh, this actually is making me so mad. How is at the end when like each High Lord, yeah, oh my gosh, it gives me the ick. Each High Lord gave like Fair a teardrop of the gods or whatever and made her a high fae. Kill me now. It was terrible. I hated that. I can't even. I can't. I actually can't. And Ryzen, don't get me started about Ryzen, because I feel like Ryzen was introduced perfectly. He was amazing, and then ruined it. you could have made a good brooding bad boy character without making him a predator. You know? I feel like the rules of consent do apply to the fairy world. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel like the rules of the consent do apply to the fairy world. Oh, and he could have been great. He could have been the one. He actually, I'm done. No. That was my biggest disappointment of the book. Actually, it was not the story, it was not the writing, it was Raisin. I don't understand. I feel like I was reading a really bad toys. What am I saying? I feel like I was reading a really bad kids book. Where like each character was like really cool. And Ryzen, don't get me started on Ryzen, man. Why is my hair not hearing though? Give me a moment. Yeah, Ryzen is my biggest disappointment in life. Actually. I'm still incredibly, I'm so disappointed about Ryzen. So the characters get a great 2 from me. 1.5. It's 2.5. So that was it. The rating of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas by me, someone who is not an author or the literary critic, but is just like really passionate about books, is 2.5. I am disappointed. I was like when I hear fairies, I'm thinking of The Cruel Prince. I'm sorry, nothing tops that book. I could talk about it on and on. Anyways, if this video does well, I might read the following books. But yeah, big disappointment. I don't know, you could read it for yourself. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I didn't like it. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions on the internet, so that was just me trying to settle the debate for myself. That was it. Thank you for watching if you have watched all the way. And subscribe and like. Thank you. Bye-bye.